Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are tackling a universal phenomenon that plagues nearly every single person learning English, the dreaded brain freeze.
Oh, it's that surreal experience,
Yeah.
where your brain suddenly decides to take a vacation right when you need it most.
Right. You have this massive vocabulary, you're reading complex articles, you're getting deep internet humor, and you follow every plot twist on Netflix without subtitles.
Your comprehension is fantastic.
Exactly. Your input is incredible. You can text in English proficiently, but then a real human asks you a simple, real-life question in person, and your whole linguistic world just collapses.
You become, as one of our sources describes it, the ultimate deer in the headlights.
And we are here to bridge that crucial gap between, comprehension and actual verbal production.
That disconnect is the key. You have the knowledge, but you lack the ability to deploy it under pressure. Our deep dive today analyzes sources that diagnose this anxiety and, more importantly, offer a surprisingly specific, incredibly high-yield grammar trick.
A trick that maximizes conversational competence with, minimal stress.
And we're not talking about obscure grammar rules here.
Not at all. We're giving you the core key distilled from this source material that will let you confidently handle an estimated 80% of daily conversation.
To really illustrate the sheer panic this disconnect can cause, let's start with a story. It comes straight from one of the pieces we analyzed.
Okay.
It's about a young man at a coffee shop. He was ordering, everything was going fine, and then the barista asks the ultimate gateway question: for here or to go?
That is the easiest functional English question, right? It requires maybe 2 words in response.
You'd think so, but this guy froze. He just stood there, silent, for what felt like an eternity.
The pressure was just too great.
Way too great. Instead of articulating the simple answer, the source says he just vaguely pointed toward the exit sign.
And then, without even picking up his coffee, he literally ran out of the shop.
Pure panic. No coffee, just a rapid physical retreat. That story perfectly demonstrates that the problem is not a lack of English knowledge. The problem is the pressure and the performance anxiety.
And that leads us to section 1, diagnosing the freeze. The pressure is the core diagnosis our sources keep hitting. The fear factor is the true enemy. What is it psychologically that holds us back?
It's the inner critic. It's that voice in your head screaming, "Don't mess up, that verb tense is wrong. They are judging your accent."
Right.
That demand for instant perfection creates this enormous psychological barrier.
The sources have this beautiful, memorable metaphor for this internal critic that dictates what you can and cannot say. They call it having a mean roommate in your brain.
And that roommate is holding your vocabulary hostage. It just sits there demanding flawless instant translation and perfect delivery, and if you can't provide it, it just shuts down the entire system.
So we absolutely need to serve an eviction notice on that roommate today. And the crucial context here is that this fear is universal.
It really is.
I saw an anecdote in the sources from a now fluent speaker who said when they were first learning, they would practice full conversations in the shower.
That's a classic safe space.
Their conversation partner. A bottle of shampoo. They said the greatest advantage was that the shampoo bottle never judged them.
I love that.
It just highlights that everyone, even the experts, starts from a place of fear and needs a safe, non-judgmental space to practice speaking out loud.
And that ties directly into the cognitive roadblock, which is section 2. The mean roommate is fueled by one major mistake, trying to translate a complex, fully formed thought directly from your native language into English in real time.
That process is the ultimate engine of panic. It takes forever, the pauses become endless, and the result, if you manage to produce anything, sounds hesitant and, robotic.
Yeah, you start searching for the perfect connecting clause, and then the silence just wins.
It does.
The cognitive load during that translation process is simply too high for real-time conversation. You're doing 3 things at once: forming the thought, translating the complex structure, and worrying about correctness.
And there's this misconception, isn't there, that to speak English well, you have to sound like you're reading a published essay.
Yes.
You feel this intense pressure to construct these massive, grammatically complicated sentences.
Like you need to sound like a character from a Victorian novel or something.
Yes.
You absolutely do not need to say, "Esteemed colleague, I awoke from my slumber in an hour that could be described as tardy."
That is just not how people talk.
Never.
That's the key realization that manages the cognitive load. Real-life English conversation is actually built on surprisingly short, clear sentences strung together. It's about clarity and momentum, not flawless complexity.
And once you internalize that, the goal becomes managing the load, making the output process easier. And that leads us to the surprising solution proposed by our sources.
Okay, let's transition now to section 3, the simple past tense secret. I know the word grammar makes many listeners want to, change the channel.
It can be scary.
But the sources argue that mastering the simple past tense is actually the high-yield trick. It's your best friend.
It is the ultimate shortcut to competence. Why? Because of the 80% rule. If you analyze the structure of everyday communication, the vast majority of it revolves around reporting on things that have already happened.
You mean things like, what did you do today? Or, tell me about your vacation.
Precisely. We are constantly summarizing. How was the meeting? Did you see that movie? I went here, she said that, we ate dinner. This whole conversational function reporting, describing experiences, summarizing, is overwhelmingly done using the simple past tense.
So the argument is that by focusing your effort on mastering this one tense, you suddenly become conversational in, 4 out of 5 daily scenarios?
Exactly.
That sounds fantastic, but let me play the role of the skeptical learner for a minute.
Please do.
If we only focus on the simple past tense, aren't we just avoiding the future and the present continuous tenses? I mean, if I can only talk about what I did, how does that help me confidently talk about what I plan to do? Doesn't that just create a new anxiety?
That's an excellent and a very fair challenge.
Mm-hmm.
The point isn't that you avoid the others forever. The point is about momentum and cognitive priority.
Ah, okay.
Mastering the simple past tense provides an immediate, usable foundation of high-frequency sentences.
So confidence through competence.
Exactly. Once you can consistently and confidently describe your past actions in short, clear sentences, you've evicted the mean roommate because you've proven to yourself that you can speak English in real time.
Mm-hmm.
That confidence then makes tackling the future tense, which is often much simpler, using will or going to far less daunting. The initial victory is crucial.
Okay, that clarifies the strategy. It's the foundational muscle. Now let's address the elephant in the simple past tense room. Irregular verbs. If I want to say I went, that verb doesn't follow the simple add-ed rule. Doesn't that immediately complicate things and bring the anxiety right back?
It's a great point, and the sources don't entirely ignore it. The key here is that the irregular verbs that cover 80% of daily life things like doted, goent, have had, say seesaw, are a high-frequency but finite list.
So it's not endless?
Not at all. You only need to conquer perhaps 30 to 50 of them to cover the vast majority of daily interactions. It's a specific task, not a limitless, overwhelming one.
So instead of trying to translate essay-level concepts, the task is simplified to memorize 30 words. That's highly actionable.
It is. It swaps the impossible task of real-time translation for the highly possible task of recalling one of 30 simple words.
Let's look at the concrete examples from the sources again. We are aiming for practical daily relevance. To describe my morning, I don't need complicated grammar. I just need, I woke up late.
Short, clear past tense.
I had coffee and toast.
Perfect.
I worked on some emails. I texted my friend about the deep dive. I mean, those 4 sentences are completely functional. They describe the bulk of a normal morning, and they rely entirely on the simple past tense.
And every listener already has those verbs in their memory. We're just optimizing the retrieval and output process.
So now we move to section 4, practical application and the self-talk challenge. We need a way to put this into practice that is, non-judgmental and low stress.
This is where we show you how to evict that mean roommate using the simple past tense as the tool. The most actionable strategy is normalizing talking to yourself about your day.
You have to create that safe space, the modern version of the shower with the shampoo bottle. And the best time, according to the sources, is right before bed.
Exactly. Every night, mentally, or even better, out loud, you just go through your day in English. The rule is simple. Focus only on real-life actions. Focus on what you did.
And the key is to avoid the language you were taught in textbooks, the abstract, unlikely scenarios. Don't practice, I went to the bank to deposit a check, unless you actually did that.
Focus on the raw reality of your life. Did you actually complete a chore? No. Then say, I avoided responsibilities. Did you argue online? Say, I argued with someone on Twitter.
Right. I ate pizza, then I doom scrolled for 2 hours, then I regretted both decisions.
That's the perfect practice sentence. You are using the language of your actual existence. I binged a show. I ordered delivery. I played video games.
The power here is that you are building muscle memory for expressing your own life. You're not wondering if the facts or context are correct because you know they are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You are just practicing connecting the correct, simple past tense verb to the real, confirmed action.
Yeah.
That cuts the cognitive anxiety in half.
Let's demonstrate how natural this sounds in a brief exchange, showing you how simple sentences strung together create a real conversation.
Okay, I'll start with a question about your fictional day.
Go for it.
How was your day overall?
It was busy, but good. I woke up around 7:30 this morning. I had a quick breakfast, just cereal and coffee, nothing fancy. After that, I worked on the deep dive outline for a few hours. Then I took a long walk to the park and met up with a friend for lunch. We went to that new burger place downtown, and I tried their sweet potato fries.
Hey, notice that flow. That's 5 or 6 complex ideas. Waking up, eating, working, exercising, meeting, eating out. All conveyed through simple past tense verbs.
Woke up, had, worked, took, met up, went, tried.
It's fluid because you were reporting, not translating.
The conversation flowed precisely because I wasn't searching for the perfect adverb. I was just recalling and reporting real actions using words I already knew. It's about movement.
When you focus on what you did, you are prioritizing the ultimate goal of communication, sharing information about your life.
Okay, so we've covered a tremendous amount of ground, from the psychological roadblock of the mean roommate to the practical application of the simple past tense. What is the core mission we are sending you away with?
The challenge starts tonight. When you are winding down, we want you to say out loud, or mentally if you must, 5 simple sentences about your day, using only the simple past tense. Just 5.
5 sentences that could be. I watched TV. I ate dinner late. I sent an important email. I felt frustrated. I learned something new. Low effort, potentially massive reward.
And this is the fundamental secret distilled from all our sources. Fluency isn't about knowing every single word in the dictionary or achieving perfect grammatical complexity.
It's about being comfortable with the simple, high-frequency words you do know. It's about leveraging the simple past tense, which carries the weight of 80% of your real-life conversations.
The goal of this nightly practice is to create a streamlined pathway in your brain so that when real pressure hits, the inner critic is bypassed. You immediately default to reporting your actions rather than attempting complex translation.
And remember this crucial truth. Mistakes are not failures. Mistakes are just proof you're actively trying and successfully evicting that mean roommate. You must allow yourself to be imperfect, to become comfortable.
Absolutely. The confidence you gain from successfully completing just 5 simple sentences tonight will carry over into your next real-life interaction, whether it's with a coworker or a barista.
So, we leave you with this final provocative thought. If you commit to practicing just 5 simple past tense sentences every day for a week, you'll not only increase your confidence, but you will fundamentally change how your brain processes conversation before the pressure of that next real-time question hits. Go get that coffee next time.
We've got this.
We'll see you next time for the next deep dive.